Hey, good morning, guys. This is Pushpakaraj, and today's topic is on how to explain the project in front of the interviewer. When interviewer asks you, "Tell me about your project." So I'll create one PPT. On that PPT, I'll cover how to explain the project. Okay. So this is the real-time project like Zerodha trading application. So I have created some visuals also, so for understanding purpose, so it is easy to understand you guys. Okay, this is some information related to the applications, so you have to read out. I'll share that PPT too with you guys. Okay, so don't worry about that. And let's start. What is the Zerodha applications and about what is the overview of that project? So I have create I'll explain each and everything. Okay, so let's start it. So firstly, about the Zerodha and project overview. About the Zerodha is India's largest retail stockbroker, uh, trade in the stocks, mutual fund and commodities. Platform use like Kite, web, mobile, console and coin. Okay, so about Zerodha is like we are nearly 60 to 75% people are aware about that, like Zerodha is used for trading purposes like stocks, bonds. So for that purpose Zerodha application is used. So when you have to explain to the interviewer, you just mention that what is the use of Zerodha and what are the platform they are provided, like mobile or website. Okay, so that you have to mention when you are explaining about your project. Okay, then the project overview is like objective. What is the objective of our project is like robust testing of Kite web and mobile. Okay, so the Zerodha have one application known as the Kite application, which will use for trading purposes like buying and selling of shares. Okay, and buying the mutual funds. So for that purpose they are using the Kite applications on the web or mobile. Okay, so testing types, like what kind of testing you have to perform in your organization, like functional, API, UI, performance, security testing. Okay, role, what's a role is like test design, executions, bug reporting and API validations, that you have to explain when we were explaining about these questions. Okay, then move on. The next type is like you have at least take a 7 to 8 minutes when you are presenting your project to in front of the interviewer. Okay, so next pivot is like application architecture and key integrations. Okay, so what is the front end, what is the back end, what is the database integration. So firstly, what is the front end of the application is like, front end is like the user face, is like what are the functionality which will be seen on your screen, that is known as a front end. Back end is like whatever the data you can enter in the front end, that is saved in the back end, or we can call as a database. Okay, so that is the back end. So firstly I'll explain the front end is like Kite is a applications which will be provided for doing the trading or uh, buying and selling of shares, like that. Then web, Kite modules for Kite mobiles and Flutter. Okay, so that is the front end is used for doing the operations or doing the work on the user for buying the share or selling the share. Back end and middleware is like microservices with REST APIs, order routing engine. Okay, so it's like it is the API. You guys, if don't know about the API, I have created a separate series on the API testing, so you can take a help of that also. So what is the API and how the API is work? Okay, so don't worry, you will getting each and everything in this channel. Okay, so for now understanding purpose, API is like a for example is API is like a one waiter. Uh, how the waiter is work when we are going to the restaurant and you if you eat some food, so what you have to do, you have give the order or command to the waiter, or waiter will come and ask about you what you want, sir. So that time you what you do, you can whatever the product you want or whatever the food items you want, you can tell to the waiter take note down that food dishes and go to the kitchen and give the order to the chef to prepare for such a food, of the customer. Okay, so once the food is ready, the waiter will take that food and serve to you. Okay, so who is that waiter? Waiter is the API, means when we are giving the request to the waiter, waiter will go is here the role of waiter is as a API. They will take the food from the chef and provide to you. Means same condition which will be happening here is like when you have to buy any product. So what you have to do firstly, when you have to log into the Zerodha applications, you can enter the valid username, password, and click on the login button. In that case, API what will do? API is like a waiter. They will go to the backend and take the data or validate that whatever the users will log in, it is a valid or not, or once a user is valid, then he will give the access to the login to the application. So that is the case happening in the backend middleware. Okay, database integration is like the shape or a kitchen. It is our database integrations. It's like the data is will be available on that. Okay, so here for that data, Postgres SQL integrations with NAC, BSE, CDSL for market data and settlements. Okay, so that is the kitchens of our is all the data will be available there. Okay, so there is a integration between the front end and back end or database. Okay, then move on the next test case, that is the move on the next slide is like key modules and login testing. Key modules is like login authentications, dashboards, orders, fund transfer, portfolio reports. Okay, so that is the login authentication purpose. First one is the login authentication purpose. You have to enter the valid login ID, password, and click on login button. Then dashboard page is open, or in the home page there is a dashboard. There is a holdings and position in the dashboard. Means whatever the share you have, buy it or you have to sell it, that will be showing on the hold and positions. Orders, what are the types of order is like buy order, limit order, stop loss order, stop loss market order. That are the different types of orders in the applications. Okay, fund transfer is like you have to attach a one bank in your application, so that the transaction which will be happen between bank and the Zerodha applications, means you have to add the money in the Zerodha application, you have to take a help of bank, and you have to withdraw money, that withdraw money from the Zerodha application to bank. So for that purpose there is a fund transfer between the bank to Zerodha. Portfolio and report, so whatever the transaction which will be done there is showing in the reports. Okay, then move on the login module testings, like two-factor authentications, like OTP expiry, session timeout validations, invalid login attempts, handling account lock, API validation, and response accuracy. That is the login module testing. You have to test when you are doing the real time testing. You have to take a help, you have to go in that way. Okay, order placement and portfolio testings. Order placement means whatever the orders you have placed and that showing in the portfolio or not, that you have to test in the real time, that you have to explain to the interviewer. Okay, and then move on the next one, like API testing methodology and safe security practices. Okay, so how you have performing the API testing, or how secure your application, you have to explain that to the interviewer, so that they are impressed to your answers. Make sure that the our motto is to impress to the interviewer when they take a interviewer, and you have to present yourself. So how you are performing the testing on that application, so that your application will be safe and secure, for not no one can hack that application. So according to that you have performing the testing in the organization. So how frequently you have giving the answer of that questions, try to explain it very well. Okay, tools, real time scenario and defect summaries. What kind of tools you have using, like tool uses like Postman, Jira, Confluence, MySQLs, browser dev tools, Bob Suite. So that are the tools you use for in your organization. You have to explain that what kind of tools you have used, real time scenario tested, defect summary. Okay, so you can read that. Also I'll share that PPT to you guys. Okay, and this is the testing matrix and coverages analysis is like major defects, minor defects. If you have the Jira, then you have getting such a kind of interface. Okay, so that I have created also. And the finally is the conclusion and next steps is like key talkways and next steps. Okay, so what is the key takeaways? like achieve the comprehensive test coverage on the critical modules, improve the system stability and bug detection rates, ensuring the security with penetration test, and validate the real-time order processing with the accurate data synchronization. So you have to explain your project in front of the interviewer like that wise, so that they can impress and you can select it to the interview. Okay, best of luck guys for the interviews. Thank you for watching the videos, and please subscribe the videos so that you are getting the upcoming project and the test cases template in the channel. We have already created 100 of test cases in the different modules, and mainly on the banking modules I have covered. And in upcoming future days we will cover all the modules in different domain. Okay, so thank you for watching. Have a great day.